First off, no, I'm not unpatriotic. I just don't have a trans flag because I don't have the money for it, okay? It would go, like, right there if I decide to make more commentary videos. I don't know if I'm gonna do that, but if you guys want me to, I will, you know? I'm not opposed to it. This is my face. Hello, welcome to the channel. Imagine it's the 1850s.
Y'all live like this? Oh my god!
You're a girl who doesn't care to get married to some random dude and live your life as a cook. You want to join the military and kick some. Back then, though, only men were allowed to do that. So, you steal your brother's clothes and leave in the night, hoping to be taken as a man and, who knows, maybe even squirrel a hot girl or two. I don't know what you're into, that's none of my business. I don't remember asking. You find a new place to live and start building up your life as a man, completely erasing your old identity as a girl. All is well. Until all of a sudden you're tackled.
Get arrested, idiot! Don't you know America made it illegal to cross-dress? Don't you look stupid now? Everybody laugh at this idiot!
Lots of people around this time were getting attention for cross-dressing as a man in the hopes of enrolling in the army and helping their country. Take, for instance, Joseph Lobdell, a transgender man who wrote books for a living. He openly transitioned, and everything was going well for him until he wrote one book that, kind of blew up. And his fate did not end very good. The point I'm very poorly trying to make is that documentation around transgender people was only really started around the 1850s, and that includes stuff like books. For example, The Knickerbockers, The Man Who Thought Himself a Woman, is a short story that's relatively sympathetic to a person who has transgender thoughts. By sympathetic, I mean about as sympathetic as you can get for the 1800s, but you know, I'll take it. Many people have theories about why documentation started skyrocketing in the 1800s, but one John D'Amelio theorizes that LGBT communities were unlikely to form naturally, and the creation of these modern cities and working class populations that we have now allowed for them to gravitate towards each other like they're magnets. We're not magnets. What is that? As transgender people started to become more widespread, scientists and other researchers started grasping for words to describe this phenomena as they saw it. The first recorded instance of this in history was a series of books published by
Karl Heinrich Ulrichs,
called Researches on the Riddle of Man-Manly Love. In this book, he referred to the experience of a trans person as anima muliebri virili corpore inclusa, which translates to a female soul enclosed within a male body. That would have been a hell of a title for trans people, man. Could you imagine? Seriously though, despite Dr. Ulrichs trying to give us an atrocious descriptor, he, with the help of Carl Maria Kurt Benny, were the first people in history to advocate for trans rights. Of course, Ulrichs' title was a little too long, so scientists continue trying to come up with an accurate name. My favorite of which is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, which is Latin for drive for sex transformation. Why did it have to be that long? However, among all the crazy names, the one that eventually stuck was first thought up in 1910 by a German scientist named Magnus Hirschfeld, who coined the term transvestite in his book, which was aptly titled, The Transvestites. What a bland title. Who could have seen that coming? Shortly after the publishing of his book, Hirschfeld started working with the Berlin Police Department with the hopes of stopping harassment and targeting of transgender people, which was very prevalent at the time, so you know, cool guy. The dude was also friends with a few transgender people too. One of them was Dorkin Richter, who was also famously the first person to undergo male-to-female surgery in 1931. This was also thanks to the help of Magnus Hirschfeld. He's seriously an awesome dude. I hope nothing bad happens to him in the future. Now, okay, we all know what happened in the 1940s. A not-so-good guy came into power, and this not-so-good guy deemed Magnus Trans Rights Hirschfeld to be the most dangerous Jew in Germany. Him. Just a researcher. A doctor. Because of this, Hirschfeld decided to leave Germany for his own safety, constantly traveling between places like New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Honolulu, the Philippines, Indonesia, Japan, China, Egypt, basically everywhere you can think of. You might recognize this photo, and that's convenient, because this is actually the most tragic record of transgender history that we have documented. The pile of books that are being burnt are all of Magnus Hirschfeld's books. Every single one. Some were never even archived. Many historians believe that studies regarding gender reassignment surgery were lost in the fire. And we're only just relearning some of the stuff that he wrote about in the 1920s. Seriously, Hitler, what the hell? In 1935, Hirschfeld decided to settle in Nice, on the French Riviera, which is where he would die of a heart attack on his 67th birthday. Thus, we lost arguably our biggest ally in the trans rights movement according to history. I'm sure you're thinking by now, how the hell are you going to dig yourself out of this dark pit? research on transgenderism wouldn't come back into the mainstream until the 1950s, where Carl Bowman would get funds from the California Sex Deviants Research Act in the hopes that he could cure homosexuality and transgenderism. Yeah, I know, it's only been a minute and I already miss Hirschfeld. Where the hell? Bowman would fail in finding a cure. Because obviously, eventually, things started to slow down in terms of research on transgender people. It just wasn't worth spending time on. That is, until 1953, baby, Christine Jorgensen, trans woman, became the most written about topic in America in a year where England had a new queen, the hydrogen bomb was being tested, war was raging in Korea, and the polio vaccine was being worked on. Trans women were just that cool. Not really. It was vile because they were bamboozled about trans people, but you know, I appreciate the sentiment. The real reason for her virality is still debated today, but historians think that it was mainly the scientific implications of it. If a man could be turned into a woman, what if that was the best solution to homosexuality? Okay, obviously that's not the best thing to say. It was during Jorgensen's virality that the term transsexual came to light, thanks to one Harry Benjamin, to describe the difference between transgender people who saw reassignment surgeries, transsexuals, versus those who didn't, transvestites. Surprise, it's the late 1950s and I'm a Russian, which is meant to scare you because it's the Cold War. As you probably know, around the late 1950s to early 1960s, there was a big scare around communism. But you know what else there was a scare of? That's right. Gay people, I can't phrase it like that. This is known as the Lavender Scare, which is hilarious, first of all, and secondly, was a really bad time to be gay, but especially trans. If you were determined to not be cisgender, you would be instantly arrested, basically. Go to jail for being yourself. Ew, oh my god. The reason for this is that they thought transgender and gay people didn't contribute anything to America, and because of this, the police thought that they were a part of the communist revolution. How does that make any sense? This scare, however, was the thing that caused a certain Virginia Prince. Wait, am I reading that? Oh yeah, no, that's her name. Okay, well. Anyway, this scare caused Prince to create a secret society of gay and trans people in 1962, and she continued running the society until the 1970s. Which is when she banned all transgender members, all gay members, and all female at birth members. Basically, she made it a tech expo. AKA rich white men only.
I am not a lizard.
Prince's goals were, according to all the documents that we have from the past, to drive a wedge between gay people, transgender people, and cis people. And yet, she was still an incredibly important part of transgender history, because she and the group she founded were the first ones to advocate for the right to change your gender on your birth certificate, change your legal name, etc. And that's where our story ends. But if you're bummed out about it, that the last time we've seen any major changes worth talking about was the 1970s, then hey, take this as inspiration. Go to your local governmental office, is that the term actually? Go to your local city hall with a sign or something, and just protest. At the very least, you can call in and say you won't be voting for a certain person because of a transphobic bill that they want to pass or something. Believe me, I know it doesn't feel like it'll do anything, but I assure you, even if that might be the case, it's the fact that we keep trying that matters. As long as humans continue to live, so will trans people. Hopefully. I hope. I'm really worried about that, but you know, they're probably gonna live. And no matter how much certain people might try to get rid of us, we're not going anywhere. My name is Ryutaroll, and this has been my transgender history video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, then clearly you're just being transphobic. No, but I had a lot of fun making this, so, you know, if you enjoyed it, thanks. I know a lot of people probably didn't pay attention. That's fine. It's a Monday, but still, you know, Ryutaroll on YouTube if you did enjoy this. I do more content like this. #always be plugging. Anyways, bye!